capital. He's a multi-zillionaire. And Governor Patrick has a hefty amount of money in his pocket too. He's writing a great book. He got a nice advance. He must know something about money.
In fact, he's a New York man.
Right? You can't tell me that they haven't had one good idea. So let's just take those 4 years of budget, vetoes. That's $1.7 billion with a B. Now remember last year when they were having the speaker fight, and the Ways and Means chair was there, and they were trying to gain support. Well, there was a battle brewing, and they were basically giving away things to try to get support for their House colleagues. $1.4 billion the budget was out of balance last year. I voted against it, and so did every Republican, because even the treasurer, Tim Cahill, said that budget is not sustainable. The first time in 17 years they had to go and actually borrow money to pay the everyday bills. First time in 17 years. When Governor Romney left, we had almost a $4 billion surplus. We have about, after this, we're basically limping to the finish line right now. $500 million is going to be left, and that's from this year coming up. Coming the next budget, they're borrowing from that. We're going to be basically broke this time next year, if not way earlier. So that you don't think that $3.1 billion could come in handy right now? All like the Santa train out in East Oshkosh, and a lot of the stupid things that we get in the cork projects that you read about. Well, that's what we're fighting up there in the legislature on a daily basis. So what's the good news? Well, there's still a little bit of, well, the good news is we have federal stimulus dollars coming in. The bad news is we have federal stimulus dollars coming in. So what do I mean by that? I mean that if with the reforms that we've done, the transportation reform, pension reform, ethics reform, there's a potential there if they put good people in and they do it right, and they really do it right, that we could save over the next 20 years between $5 and $6 billion. That's no bull. I agree with that. The numbers confirm all that. So if that's the case, then a lot of the programs that are being cut in your cities and towns can be backfilled gradually with some of the savings we do. But if they put in people in this new transportation, conglomeration that do the same thing as the others did, then we're in a bigger mess. So the federal stimulus dollars that are coming in, I feel, should be used to backfill, judiciously the projects and the things that we're trying to do. The shovel-ready projects, I have no problem with fixing bridges and roads and sidewalks and schools and buildings. That's construction dollars. It's good union and non-union jobs. That creates and beautifies areas and keeps people employed. That's not a problem. It's the wasteful things that bother me. And my fear is, if we don't do the reforms that we need to do right now, that if we take those federal stimulus dollars and just backfill, then in 2 years when that stuff runs out, what's going to happen? We're going to be in a massive, massive hole. And it's going to be something that it's going to take generations to get out of. And that's my fear. Now, I'm a term limits person. I'm only doing 4 terms. I did it in the House, I did it in the Senate. I'm the only person up there that's self-imposed term limits. And I think it's important because I'm not beholden to any special interests. And really, one of the only reasons I came up here was obviously out of respect for my dad, and to see who this crazy guy was who has a Scott Brown for Governor website up. But all kidding aside, the press says, Scott, you're everywhere. You must be doing something. What's up? What's the goal? And what they don't know is that I've been doing this for like 6 or 7 years. I've been going around the state because no offense, what did Rick Pitino say? Byrd, McHale, and Parrish aren't coming through that door. Well, Governor Romney, Swift, Salucci, they aren't coming through that door. So it's people like me and Frank and Bruce and others, the band of brothers and a couple of sisters in there, are going around the state and spreading the goodwill. If you guys can come out on a miserable night like tonight, really, and come and hear me speak, and show the support you are to Larry and your new committee, your city committee that's the talk of the state, quite frankly. I will tell you that for sure, because I've been hearing about you guys since you started packing them in. I wanted to come and show my respect for you all and say thank you for what you're doing. Because I can tell you what, the sense of outrage in the state right now is remarkable. You've heard it by the polls that are, the independents that were supporting Obama. They're now saying, oh, wait a minute, yeah, we like the guy. We'd like to go have a beer with him, or maybe a cigarette. All right? Oh, I get to sit next to the most distinguished person? No, it's not. Good to see you. But, you know, the independents are saying, you know what, we don't agree. He shouldn't be owning businesses. He shouldn't be, you know, taking over the banks, the car industry, you know. The indebtedness to our children forever, they're kind of falling away. And that's translating locally here. When you have a governor who's basically hired 2,000 new employees, his budget's up 87%. He's giving jobs, 185,000 almost to a senator, you know, $130,000 or $40,000, you know, fictitious real estate job to his neighbor. You know, not leading by example. His approval rating's down 28%. He's never here. He's really not here. He's not. You know, when you hear him saying, you know, I'm gonna, Governor, hello, I'm Governor Deval Patrick, and I'm gonna. Veto that budget unless they get ethics reform. Well, no offense, but you know, Bruce and I and others have been working towards ethics reform, pension reform, and transportation reform long before the governor even thought about coming to Massachusetts running for governor. So when he's trying to take credit for all these reforms that we're doing, we waited for 2.5 years for him to put out a transportation reform plan. And finally, the Senate president, who we both have great respect for, a Democrat, said, you know what, enough is enough. Enough press conferences. She put out a 185-page transportation reform plan that was something that we all voted for 100% and worked very hard to support. And his complaint was that we used his color coding in the charts. I mean, come on. I mean, you have to, yeah, I know, you guys are stunned, I just said that. But there's very little that we do and take the lead from the governor. We are hard charging, we're working very hard to protect your wallets, we're trying to fight back, and there is a great opportunity for not only candidates who are considering running, and I have great respect for anybody, local, the mayor, you know, in his service, and former Mayor Matthews, and obviously the sheriff and Senator Tarr and all the city and town councilors here. I have great respect for all of you for putting up with, you know, the blood sport that politics is. Whenever I talk to people, I say, I'd really love to run. What do you think? I said, well, let me talk to your wife or husband, and I'll tell you what I think. Because politics is a blood sport. You need a very, very thick skin to run. And you know, that's I think why I'm a term limits person, because I can only take so much. I can get in, raise Cain, and then get out. But there are great opportunities because of the dissatisfaction, and I got it kind of off because when Bruce came in, the aura just was amazing. So I had to kind of refocus. But there's an amazing opportunity out there